again, you awesome vlog watchers. I am here for another webisode of my story where I tell my life story in little 15-minute increments, one video at a time. So welcome to another webisode of my story, a story of my life. Okay, so I was talking about getting served by Zach and preparing for court. But honestly, I do want to rewind and tell a little bit about the past before I move into the future. I've been doing this throughout my story, so it's a thing. Anyway, so another rewind episode. Whenever I want to rewind to whenever I first had my third daughter and how her father was there and he was a lot of help and he was a really great support and it was really cool. And he did get to change her diaper at least once. I pretty much had her potty trained whenever he got home, almost fully. But it was easy to potty train the two others. And that's also where I kind of want to rewind. I remember potty training my middle daughter was really funny because I didn't know, but I have like this 2-week boot camp of potty training where I just focus on making sure that the child gets potty trained. Like that's what I had to learn with my first child. She was so hard. I didn't have her potty trained until she was after 3, and I had to come up with this like potty train boot camp thing where it's just all you do is focus on that for 2 weeks and get it into a habit and they get used to it. But with my second child, I put her on the potty and she realized she didn't have to use a diaper and she was just like, why didn't you tell me this sooner? But the thing about it is she wanted to lean back, and whenever she did, her pee would come out and I'd be like, no, it has to go in the pot. So it was a crazy adventure. And I had a newborn baby and my husband went back to war. He did. So after Dave came home and he got to spend the rest of his leave, which actually was not very long. It was like a week, a couple days later, and he had to go back to war. And I wanted to, because I didn't have school, I had the summer off. My daughter was born in April, and so I had the summer off, and I decided to go to my home state and show off my baby and talk to, see my sisters and see my friends and just visit my home state. So I had to load up all the kids, and I was still breastfeeding, so she was under 3 months old whenever we did. I loaded up all the kids, and it was an 18-hour drive from where I was to my home state. And we were in a van. We were in a big van. But I had to stop every 4 hours to feed the baby because she was breastfed and stuff. So it was crazy. It was a crazy trip. I also had our pit bull with us. So yeah, it was crazy. I went across 3 states, just me and my 3-year-old, my 1-year-old, and my newborn, and we just went across. I mean, we just went, and I got to go visit, and I visited my aunt, and I visited my grandparents, and I visited my sisters and my friends. And I mean, it was a lot of fun. But I remember my grandma was just so upset with me. She's like, I can't believe that you loaded these kids in the car to come visit us. Like, I'm like, well, aren't you happy that she's like, yes, I'm happy, but it is so dangerous. And she got on to me so hardcore about driving there all by myself with the kids. But I don't know, I just did. And I think I stayed for a while. So yeah, and then we had to drive back, and because I had to get ready to go back to school and go back and get back into my life. So yeah, that's the rewind. So now we fast forward, and Dave comes home, and that trauma happens, and he's also Dave starts drinking a whole lot. He drinks a whole lot, and actually, I was too. I was drinking, and yeah, I would put Captain Morgan in my tea a lot, but I don't know. I was still in school, and we do get served with these papers, and I had saved up close to $50,000, which I was hoping for, us to be able to put towards a house. And we had to put this money towards a lawyer. So I get a lawyer on retainer for $2,500. So that's the start of all this. And because he sued me for custody, which is just what they do. It's how the courts are set up. He's going to sue for custody, but he's not going to get it. And, the lawyer I had, I thought was really good. And we go to court, and him and his lawyer, throw a curveball. He actually found a lawyer that is a lawyer in my state and our home state. And they wanted to move the courts to the home state and away from here, because their argument was our first child was born in that state, so that state should handle the case. And that's not at all what we were expecting. And so my lawyer, basically was like, well, we need time to figure this out. So my lawyer was like, we're going to have to do more stuff. You're going to have to pay me more money. So I had to pay more money. And it's complicated stuff. I'm explaining it the best that I know how. But we ended up going to court again. And for me, I was like, I want to delay as much as possible. And I was talking to Dave about it. I don't care how much money it would cost. I would rather delay. I want the kids to be older. The older they are, the better, is what my mind is thinking. I don't want him to take them as babies or toddlers. I really want to get them to the age of 5. I'd really like, it's my first 2 daughters. He's not going to take my third. That's Dave's kid. But they're both his. We've had a DNA test on both of them done, because remember, Dave wanted the DNA test on my second daughter. So we had a DNA test done on both of them. They're both his. And yeah, one born in the home state, one born in this state, but the judge does order that it be moved to the home state, so it must be moved to the home state. And now my lawyer says, no matter what, you've paid me this far, I can't operate in the home state. I'm not licensed in that state, so you're going to have to find a lawyer that is licensed in that state to pick it up from here on out. And it's not like, okay, here's your money back. Even though, the way that lawyers are it's a retainer. I don't know. It's confusing to me, because it's here, I'm going to give you this money so that you have it as you work on my case. And then they work on your case and take the money as they need it. And then, if you fire them, shouldn't you get that money back if they're not going to work on your case at all? Right? But whatever. They do whatever. And I just have to look for a lawyer in my home state. This, though, was like a crushing blow to me. I did not expect it. It was totally crazy. Why would we move it to the home state? The kids are living with me. They're in this state. Yes, one was born in the home state. One was born in this state. So now we have that. We have one born in the home state, one born in this state. If that's the argument, then it should stay in this state. We're in this state. The kids are going to be enrolled in school in this state. I'm buying a home in this state. I'm not going to go back to my home state. But the judge ordered it to go to the home state. That, it was surprising to me. And I feel like my lawyer was just like, yeah, that sounds good, And I'm like, no, we want it to be in our state, lawyer, right? Especially if you're about to fire me as a client, right? it was confusing to me, and it was a blow. And I do this thing where I throw myself a pity party. And I threw myself a big pity party, and it was, oh, woe is me. It's not gonna work out. I don't know what to do. Da 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 da. The biggest pity party in the world, like I always do. And back then, goodness, I guess I just go back and give myself love while I do this. But I mean, back then, I wouldn't recommend this to people, but I mean, I would take, it's not a bad thing, but I would take baths after I was done with my pity party, and just take like a pity party bath where you just cry into the bath and just let it all go. But water and bath is powerful, especially if you immerse yourself into it. So it's better to immerse yourself into positive vibes. So it's better to get out those negative vibes before you take the bath. And if the bath is, it's still soothing to me to this day, it's just now I create a positive vibe bath. That's it. So anyway, yeah, I threw a big pity party. I can still remember it. I remember I write emails to myself, and I just, not positive stuff either. This is stuff like, you are so dumb. Why didn't you know to get this? Oh Lord, why didn't you know? You're so, I can't believe you. You're never gonna do it. You'll never make it. I mean, I feel like I want to whisper it because it's like, it's so much shadow stuff that I just let it out. And I don't think that it's healthy for those that live with me and love me. So, I mean, Dave had to put up with that, and the kids too. And that's just the beginning. I mean, ooh, it's just the beginning. But I throw myself big pity parties, what I would call them, to call it lightly. But once I'm done, I put that ish behind me, and I move forward. And I'm done. I'm done listening to the "you're so dumb." I listened to the "no, you're so dumbs" enough. I'm done with that. Now it's, what are you going to do? And you know what? If it is in the new state, well, I can delay it even further. I'm pretty much guaranteed to delay it until my oldest daughter is 5 now at this point. Guaranteed. It'll continually get delayed. So I look for a good lawyer. I ask around for a good lawyer, one that understands this on the mom side, because I realized this. What I was realizing is, in the courts, there's a mom side and there's a dad side, and I mean, yeah, there's paternal rights and there's maternal rights, and some even have grandparent rights. Oh. Child custody court is a whole nother jungle, you guys. It's a whole nother jungle. But I was done with all the pity and the BS, and I was ready to figure out how to climb these jungle vines and navigate my way through it. So, pick myself back up, and I got me a new lawyer in the state. And I was able to telecommute a lot of the stuff from there on. So we'll pick up there on the next webisode. I thank you guys so much for being here with me. Thank you for watching. You guys are so amazing. And until the next one, I pray that you are all blessed with massive amounts of love. My story. That's all she got.